to tell by action. Life has made a twist when I finally broke blue.
So I've been drawing and creating since like I can remember, pretty much. Like my mom has all sorts of drawings like saved up from elementary school and stuff. And in high school I took 3 art classes, and when it came time that I graduated, I decided to go to the Art Institute in Los Angeles, California. At that time, like right when I had turned 18, I got my first tattoo. Right after I got my first tattoo, I think we were in San Francisco when I had it done. I was at a tattoo convention, and when I got back to Los Angeles, I bought a tattoo kit, like as soon as it happened. And my buddy Angel's the one that did it for me. He kind of showed me more or less how to set up and stay clean and stuff like that. So I had another roommate too that was also an artist, or like an illustrator, and me and him pretty much started tattooing at the same time. I think he bought his kit maybe a couple months later than me, but I think that was in 2007 when that happened. Ever since, I kept doing it. I just kept up at it. Every week I was trying to find people to tattoo. Like, it was really, really hard at the beginning to find people in LA. I had a bunch of people in Tulare that were willing to get tattooed. Don was the first person that I ever tattooed. Me and Don are really close. We're pretty much like brothers. He's my bro, Migo Sabe. We used to wrestle and like do like backyard wrestling and beat each other with chairs and jump off the ladders and throw each other in the thumbtacks. And I have a scar right here on my head from not from Don, but where my brother headbutted me, and I had to get like 26 stitches and like 3 sutures underneath. But yeah, he's been around for the whole journey, which is pretty cool, because even though he hasn't gotten tattooed a lot, he has the first one, and we've remained friends since high school, and we've done a lot. We've traveled together, and now I'm able to do like a really cool piece on him, which is dope. I think he kind of earned it. All right, man. So what are we working on today?
We're working on the design created by Danzig of the Misfits, Sam Hain and Danzig. It's from the album November Coming Fire, released in 1986 by Sam Hain. I want to say 86. Yeah, 86. And it's I've always loved that design because of the fire and the little skeleton guys coming out, and they, it looks really, dark and scary, and I like it a lot. It just brings me back to my old teenage years when I first started listening to them. So when I started listening to them, I listened to them a lot, and I took I actually got the shirt with the same artwork, and I wore it every day pretty much, and it was one of my favorite shirts, and I still have it, but I kind of retired it because it's getting old.
So yeah, pretty much we were at my friend's party, like a house party, and I had just gotten the tattoo kit, and I was all stoked on it, and he was just down to get one, and I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, and it was us just hanging out on the couch. People were walking in, looking at us like, these guys nuts. And I'm over there drinking, a couple of beers, not thinking much of it, but I think now, it's probably not a good idea to drink and get a tattoo at the same time. Makes your blood thinner. It doesn't really work well with your blood flow. Thought about doing that kind of thing, and then they said, yeah, you're O negative. I said, oh, that's universal. I said, yeah. Plus, there's a band called Typo Negative that I like, so that, that's how I knew. I don't know, I kind of, thought that's cool, so I'd always talk about it, and people would tell me, yeah, you should donate your blood to everybody, you can save lives. So I started doing that, and then they told me where my blood goes, and it goes to the Valley Children's Hospital, and it's enough for 3 babies. They said it goes to the babies. So whatever babies there need blood, I think my blood goes to them. I don't know if I've always been giving. As much as I like to think that I'm kind of selfish, if you do look at it, I am pretty generous too, when I can be. Not often anymore, but I always did help out people, friends and stuff, but donating blood is like, it's not like money. You can just give it away, and then it just didn't, they spend it on whatever they want. It's like, it's blood, it's like life-saving. It's not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'll around you, buddy. It's your day. But, oh, it's looking good today. Enough up. Yeah. So, yeah. I think I did see that on Instagram. You're gonna have to get a portrait of Penny, though. Alright, gentlemen. See you guys. You guys out here? See you guys later, hopefully. Wow. Oh yeah, for sure. We gotta go shoot one more thing after this, and we'll be done. No worries. Alright, Don, it's good seeing you, man. Yeah, for sure. Take care. You too.
NMW, New Millennium Wrestling. You might be able to find it if you look for it in Tulare. It's pretty fun stuff.
NMW. That was something that my brother started when he was in high school, and then when we got older, when we started wrestling with him, we just kind of continued it.
It was kind of like reincarnated.
Mm-hmm. But on a whole new level, we put on some good shit.
Good old-fashioned storytelling. The two brothers who were feuding, and then this guy Danzig coming in, turning you guys against each other.
Yeah, back in high school, Don here, as you can see, he's pretty influenced by the artist Glenn Danzig. Ooh. And so much so that people used to call him Danzig.
This is a true story.
That's like his nickname is Danzig, and then I was listening to Tenacious D like literally every 2 seconds. Like, so everyone knew me as Tenacious. So naturally that became our stage names, Tenacious and Danzig.
I think it was Nico Ramos and Chris Rios that gave me those nicknames. They gave me that nickname. If I think about it real hard.
I think about it real hard. I bet you I could remember my first nickname.
I didn't even think of Danzig, which is funny.
I didn't think of Tenacious either. I wanted Explosivo to be my name.
Explosivo's cool. Tenacious was better, I think.
I guess it's better if somebody else gives you your nickname now.
Tenacious.
It worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Go ahead and go check it out. Oh, well.
That's fucking sick because his eyes are starting to bleed out.
Oh,
They're all pretty dope, dude. Get a good look at that. That's cool, man. That's just sick.
The spot. Take a picture. I think no matter what I do, I'm always gonna be in Tulare. You know what I mean? Like, maybe my address doesn't say there, but even when I lived in Los Angeles, I was here all the time. When I lived in San Francisco, I was here all the time. But like, my family's here, all my friends are here, and some of my family has moved on, and some of my friends have moved on. But there's a big bulk, there's a big home, and there's a big support system here. So I'll always have my foot into Larry at some point, whether or not my artwork's here. It will definitely for sure be here because I'm going to be tattooing into Larry. This is where, like, if I didn't have this type of support, I would have never got to where I wanted to get to. Like when I was barely starting tattooing and like I was probably doing some crazy stuff, these people were still letting me do it, you know, and like I didn't know any better, probably because they were so confident in me, it didn't really shake me. I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know, where I was tackling pieces that I maybe should not have been tackling at the time, but since I had such a strong support system, like it really pushed me to just keep going forward and keep, you know, pressing the limits on what I could do. And I'm like super grateful for that. So I could never just like abandon my town, I guess, because I feel like it's like my town. The shop, you know, I think there is what I see for myself in the future. There, I don't know if it's necessarily like a shop franchise or that type of expansion, but everything that I want to do, I feel like I'm going to be able to do. It's just a matter of how hard I work when it will happen.